Well, welcome everybody back to the Flying Dog House. It's been a minute. Our last aircraft review was the amphibious plane we did, so we're having a look today, and I'm really not sure how I missed this. But Sal 1800 has updated his freeware Cessna 206H to be native 2024. And this aircraft was absolutely one of my favorites in 2020. So I cannot wait to give this a spin over in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So this will be a first up. So live and in color, we're going to take a look at this together. As usual, the team here has done an excellent job with their documentation. It's absolutely terrific. So download it from Flightsim.to. I'll put the link in the description below. But it's the flying station wagon here. So this is the 206H. It can seat seating for 6, right? So and it's got all sorts of fun things kind of baked into it. So one of the things you're going to see in the 2024 version, obviously, they have added the walk around and pre-flight stuff. So that's cool. And I've got on the wheel fairings or the tire shoes. Crack me up. Anyway, so I'm using that variant. So there is the standard tire 206H. There's one with the wheel fairings, which is what you see here. This aircraft is available for download for, there are 2 different versions. There's one for 2020 and one for 2024. So we'll be using the 2024 version, and it includes what you see on the screen with the 206H with the wheel fairings. There's a variant with Tundra tires, and there's also an amphibious variant for this as well. So if you enjoy the float plane kinds of things, it's also available to you with this as well. So at any rate, there's some interesting footnotes here in the documentation. There's some specific engine temperatures and ranges that you're going to want to stay within or under, depending on what they are. Again, I mentioned the pre-flight in 2024. So obviously that's 2024 only, just for clarity. Takeoff performance is the ground roll of 910 feet, and distance to clear a 50-foot obstacle is 1,740 feet. So, any rate, won't need flaps for a normal takeoff in this. It's fine. Cruise probably should be operated at about 2,300 RPM. Trim up, all those other fun things. So about 120 knots, I think, is probably what you're going to get out of it. Anyway, what do we got? Looking at the water taxi and water operations footnotes here in the dock. Setting the parking brake will act as an anchor if you're using the float variant, so that's cool. You are going to need to pay attention to weight and balance, so there you go. No camera barrier, so you can move the camera around in the cockpit as you choose, right? There is a tablet available, obviously, for configuration on this. This is using the default sound pack for the Cessna 172, so just keep that in mind. What I do remember about the 206 in 2020 is that it flew very well, so I'm greatly anticipating how it's going to behave once we get in the air here. So at any rate, I think we're good on the intro. Let's grab the Xbox controller here and get rid of our the things that would cause us issues. being fiddly with that. Well, did click on it. I probably see. Is it me or is it me? There we go. It's probably me. It looks very good, Sal. As I anticipated it would. All right, so lots of door openings and closings here that are available to you. So as you can see, we're moving the controller across the surface and having those choices. So that's good. So the aircraft looks nice. And by the way, we are at first flight in Kitty Hawk, Shock of Shocks. All right, I think we're good. I think we're ready to jump in the plane. So let's do that. Okay. All righty. Take a peek here. Again, this is the first time I've jumped in this again, so we're just having a quick peek. Freeware, this is just absolutely awesome. A little bit of polygoning, but if you're complaining about that, you need to lighten up. Okay, so anything else worthy of note? Let's go ahead and take a look at the default cameras here, see what we've got. All right, so that's shift 1, right to the pilot area of business, which is what I would expect. Shift 2 in the middle, 3 lower, giving you a little bit of a zoom in terms of your Bendix kit there for your transponder and autopilot and such. 4 is taking us down below for our switches. 5 down into the lower center console. 6 up top for the lights. 7 underneath, like that shot. That's cool. We'll use that. I thought it was shift 7. Shift 8, wingtip. Shift 9, taking a peek at the passengers. Shift 0 over the nose. All right, so those look good. So I'm not sure that you'll necessarily need to adjust those as you go, but that's looking good. Okay, so I guess we could take a minute to talk about performance. So let's do that. I am going to stop recording here for just a second, and then we'll jump back in and we'll have a discussion around the real world aircraft performance. So we'll be right back. Okay, so this aircraft was introduced in 1998 with a 300 horsepower engine and had quite a production run. I think the original 206H, that production ended in 2013 with 369 units being produced. And they did come out with a 206H Turbo HD that was introduced in 2016, and that one is still in production. So if I have my facts straight on that. So lots of different purchasers and customers of this, obviously preponderance of it being civil aviation oriented, but there are some government uses as well. All right, so in our usual way, what would you want to know about the Stationair? So here we go. General characteristics. Crew of 1, passengers. We can have 5 additional folks. Length 28 feet 3 inches. Wingspan 36 feet 0 inches. Height 9 feet. Easy for me to say. 9 feet 3.5 inches. Wing area 175 and a half square feet. Empty weight, 2,176 pounds. Max takeoff weight, 3,600 pounds. We talked about the power plant. It is a single engine 3-blade. Performance stuff. Max speed, 174 miles an hour or 151 knots. Cruise. Stated speed here, 163. I'm not sure we're going to get that in the sim. So keep in mind, these are real world values that we're talking about here. Not necessarily what you're going to see in the sim. Range, 840 miles. Stall speed is 63. Service ceiling, 15,700 feet. Rate of climb, about 988 feet a minute. So there we go. So that's what you want to know to start with the 206H. So we will go ahead and turn our attention to getting the aircraft started up. So have a look at that here in just a second. So to get us started on this particular piece, I have cut off the yoke so that we're not having to deal with that. Obviously, real world, you wouldn't do that. So help us see what we need to see in order to get the aircraft started. Okay, so the fuel switch is going to be in the floorboard, and we'll set that to both. That taken care of and out of the way. We'll go ahead and hit the alternator and the battery. Got on our nav lights. People will know we're getting ready to shenanigate. Circuit breakers are not clickable, so not everything here that's presented in the cockpit is available for use. Tablet over here in the corner. Right, so this is where you can configure the aircraft. And in the original video that we did in 2020, we walked through all of this. But you've got a number of different things that you can configure inside the aircraft. You can remove seats and change the configuration, which I think is a very nice touch. And this was very, very rare to see with Freeware, when this was originally released for 2020. So, all right, so that's your basic config. Engine, giving you some stress value data here. And then the instruments, you can configure what the cockpit looks like. I'm going to leave it as it was out of the box. So you can see you've got choice if you have the GTN 750 installed, either free or the pay version of it. That's available to you if you prefer using that. But we're going to kick it old school here for the video. All right, so we'll hide the tablet. I think we're done with that. Okay, so back to startup process here. So navigate on, mixture is to full rich, prop speed percent. Probably don't want our throttle all the way in. We'll crack the throttle, and I think probably good for a start here. Avionics we can go ahead and cut on. And get that going. And magnetos are both, and clear prop. And we've got a good engine start. Okay, so we'll let the engine warm up here. And again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, this is using the stock 172 sound, which is fine. And we'll get going here in just a minute. Really don't think there's anything else to demo inside the cockpit. I'm going to let the engine warm up here, and then we will we'll go ahead and start our taxi, and we'll shave a minute or two off of the video time here. So we'll rejoin once we're ready actually to roll. We'll be right back. All right, so our engine run up is complete. Our temperatures all look good. Come off the parking brake here, and we will start our taxi. I'm not worrying about the issue with my controller here. All right, we'll figure this out. We'll be right back. And that's the joy of doing this live, right? So I had a conflict with the controller. I had rudder pedals conflicting with each other on the stick. Because literally, I just installed this again in 24. All right, so we should find this to be much more responsive. Anyway, it's always something good to check before you start a flight or a group flight. Make sure that you have all of your controller settings in order. Don't be like Doghouse. Be better than Doghouse. All right, so this is a unmonitored airfield, so we'd be dialing up Unicom and letting folks know that we are getting ready to take to the active runway. All right. So we should not need flaps for takeoff here. We should be able to climb out over the obstruction that's located here at the end of the runway. There are high power lines here at First Flight. So, all right, again, I have already checked all of the temperatures. I checked the mags. Everything looks good. We are ready for takeoff. Let's check our instrument panel here. Still calibrating. It's taking a minute. We'll sit here for a second. Anyway, I really think you're going to enjoy the aircraft if it's anything close to what it was in 2020. It will be a home run and then some. And I said this about the 2020 version. It's definitely payware worthy for sure. Ba-ba-da-bum. All right, I suppose we don't have to wait for that. Obviously, in the real world, we would. Looks like it's coming along in its boot up process. There we go. All right, let's roll. All right, airspeed's alive. A little windy today here at First Flight. And we are up. Our gear is always down, so we don't have to worry about that as a process. All right, let's jump out. She looks good. We are going to turn to the northwest here. It's definitely flying as I would expected it to. Okay. Hop outside the plane and enjoy the scenery here for a minute or two. Okay, so let's see. We are at about 800 feet. Let's go ahead and get a reasonable rate of climb here. Do a stall test. Okay, I've got us pointed toward Elizabeth City. Should be a relatively short flight. And this does have engine modeling, so you might want to be careful with temps and RPM ratings and all those fun things. So need to be paying attention to that. We're at 1,600 feet. I still want to continue climbing here. I'll keep the RPM here in the green. So do not exceed on the RPM. Looks like 2,500. And we're continuing to make our way. Continuing to climb here. Yeah, so I think this is going to be a perfect aircraft for general aviation group flights. So we'll start using that again. And I'll definitely be using this in conjunction with the Black Square Baron and Bonanza that I picked up a couple of weeks ago. This is quite good. And we'll continue our rate of climb. I want to get up above 3,500 feet to do the stall test. So Elizabeth City is Kilo Echo Charlie Golf. And I do have add-on scenery loaded here from Flightsim.to. So you're going to see some Coast Guard kit on the ground when we get there. All right, now we're just making our way across the sound here. Just keep chugging along. Again, no surprises at all. All right. This will put us on a good heading for marching our way over to Elizabeth City. All right, we got good altitude here. All right, so let's do a power on stall. So I'm gonna pull the nose up here, and we'll see how she behaves with us with the stall. See if she drops a wing on us. And what I remember about the 2020 variant is it just wants to continue to fly. So we'll push on her. Yeah, speed's coming down now. We're down to 56. I'm continuing to add back pressure. There's our stall warning coming on. And I am still adding back pressure. Down to 46, still flying. It's starting to warble on me now. And I cannot get her to stall. Oh, there she goes. I dropped a little of the power off. Okay, there we go. So it does drop a wing. But you really got to make it angry to, to stall. That's good to know. All right, we'll continue our way back over here toward Elizabeth City. We didn't drop very much altitude, I don't think, with the stall test. All right, come back off the RPM. And we'll start burning off some of this altitude so it doesn't take us forever for our approach. All right. Begaloo and Sal, congratulations on this one. This one is awesome. As was the 2020 variant. So if you're running PC, you need to have this in your hangar. This is a no-brainer. And it's very, very well done. I'm not sure if Sal's taking donations or what, but if he does have the option for you being able to donate, I would encourage you to do so. It was very, very cool. All right, let's see. See if I can do this and fly at the same time. Yeah, gee. Multitasking. Yeah. Let me switch over real quick to browser screen. All right, so this is the download page over on Flightsim.to. So check that out. I will put the link in the description. Again, as I mentioned in the first part of the video, you do have a 2020 and a 2024 option. Lots of good documentation. Always very, very well done. As was this attempt, so as you can see. So this is updated September the 28th. How the heck I missed this, I don't know. But I am very, very happy that I have found it and downloaded. I think you're going to enjoy it as well. All right. Well, I think we've probably seen me take off and land enough. I think I'm going to leave it here, folks. Let me switch back over into the sim. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. It will help our channel continue to grow, and we are growing. And we appreciate every subscriber that we have and every viewer. So do us a favor and take a moment and hit that subscribe button. All right, I think I'm going to leave it here. This is the Cessna 206H from Sal 1800. Keep safe. Be kind to each other. I hope everybody is keeping well. And until next time, folks, cheers, y'all.